Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. Today we're going to give you another BOLO. We're going to talk about something most people haven't a clue what it is. They're Vesta boxes or match safes for those of you who have heard that term before. Vesta boxes, match safes are basically the same thing. They're just to actually carry matches or other little oddball items that could get damaged or wet or something along that line. Mostly matches were stored in these as the name dictates. We're going to look at some right now. So here is the first match safe. Now these have been around for at least 100 plus years, probably more like 150 or better. I've found some as far back as the Civil War or just a hair before. Most countries had them. There weren't lighters like there are today, so people actually had to carry stick matches to light a pipe or whatever the case may be that they were smoking. Wasn't an option. Most of these have strikers on them as well too. The most expensive ones are Figural, that look like a person, a place, a thing, an animal like this bat here. The material it's made out of varies across all gambits: sterling, brass, silver, gold. There's wood, there's Gutta-percha, there's porcelain and ceramics as well. There's even glass match safes. Anything that you could have made something out of, they made a match safe out of. It's not a super huge category, but most people haven't a clue what they are and miss them or misidentify them. Now, some even look like lighter cases, missing the lighter aspect of it. So some people will actually pass these up not realizing it. They promoted these as well too, so you'll find advertising pieces as well as promotional items also. This is Meiji, Japan. This is a very specific time in their history. The Tokugawa were going out. This one goes for $268. Sold from Australia for those from Australia. Real nice one to say the least. Now some of these Japanese versions may have been for something else and hung around their belt with Netsuki, so you just have to look into some of these a little more to understand the nature of what these are. Here's an advertising one for a beer company from the territory of Hawaii. A good example, they actually show with matches in it. 17 bids, $261 on this one. Now here is a Wedgwood. They come in Wedgwood and Jasperware as well. Many different varieties. Some of these would have been made to sit on a table to go along with a smoking lighter or something along that line. So really nice and interesting item here. Now here's one of the ones that resembles a lighter, and many people actually miss these. It has the same basic barrels as some of the earlier lighters. People may just think it's actually missing the insides and not realize it's a match safe. Sterling and gold obviously are some of the most expensive ones you can find. This one went for $350 basically. Figural, again, this is even newer. This is from 1988. So they still make these, mostly for decorations or for fancy parties and things like that. $282 on this one. Again, age isn't really the factor. It's the design, the construction. If it has something special like this one here, this has Uncle Sam on it. So these are always worth more money. Nice, good example. Something that I would personally look for no matter where I go are these match safes. I do find them all the time. Many times I can get them for $1 or $2, and most people don't realize what they are. Especially if they're dark and dingy and the tarnish is just taken over the whole piece. Now here's one from the local area. Summit Street is towards downtown. I about know where this place is actually at. It's a celluloid piece as well, so the celluloid aspect adds to it. It's from a local establishment. This one has 4 or 5 categories it could go into: pre-prohibition, beer advertising, match safes, Toledo, and in general celluloid collectors as well. $301, 19 bids on this one. Next one is another Japanese one, probably from the Meiji era as well. I've looked at this one closely. I really like this one. You can see the striker as well on the top inside of the lid. This would have actually lit the matches. You would have struck the match on this part and then put the rest in here. These could have been dangerous. They could have lit off the rest of them too. So anyway, it's a no-dancer mask, Japanese no-no dancer. Rather interesting. I actually have some of the masks actually from Japan with this same similar design. Some of these are silver and some are just plated. It doesn't matter on these earlier ones. Nice one here from the Columbia Exposition, the Columbia World's Fair from 1893. Uncle Sam is on this one, $305, 30 bids. This does not matter if these are actually silver or not. You can see the striker on this one as well. Next one's another advertising piece, and this does look to be yeah, this is celluloid as well. Now, it's not in the title. Had they put celluloid in here, it may have went for a little more. Another Ohio item, interesting, nice advertising piece. This is from the late 1890s-ish, probably early 1900s at the very latest, 1910, 15, probably at the max. $317 plus on this one, 38 bids on this one. Here's a Figural one, sterling silver coiled snake. Sometimes they're maker mark too, and that can add to the value. You can see how it swings opened on this one here. Most of the real good ones were actually Figural. Those are the ones that will always sell for the most money. Odd construction or odd materials help it sell better also. Some of the wood ones can go for as much as the sterling ones. $326, 54 bids. These are just really nice ones here. Here's another one. This is a German pipe smoking man. It has the German like a adventurer's hat, hiking hat, Alps you would see. Nice, interesting one. $468. It depends on how this one's marked as to how old it is. You can see the striker on the bottom as well too. Some of these will be early and they won't be marked. This one had 17 bids on it also. Again, most people miss these. Most people haven't a clue what these are and will just sell them as a pill case, a stamp case, or whatever they think it is at the time. Here is probably one of the better ones. This is actually enamel work on here. Hand-done enamel on sterling. Circa 1894, it went for $1,091. I've seen some of these go for a couple thousand, depending on the age. This one has touch marks for London. It has the company name on it. It has the lion's head. S for the year, so you can date this very specifically on this one here. Really nice one. Here's the Pan American Exposition, 1901. Any World's Fair or event, exploration, any of that kind of stuff they made these for. So this was a mainstay in everyday life for most people. If you were well-to-do or you had enough money to smoke, chances are you had a match safe, a Vesta safe of some sort somewhere. Vesta, I believe, comes from the vest pocket and things like that. Just a play on words from what I understand. $205. This is a little later than the 1893 World's Fair one we showed you, but this is still a very nice example. Nice enamel work on this one here. Really nice one. Most of the flag ones or transportation ones all go in the same range too. Now here's Punch and Judy. This is one of the actual puppet shows. This goes way back. You can see the lion for sterling, the London head on there, as well as a C for the date. So this is well dateable, very nice early piece. Punch and Judy was very popular in, say, 1860s, 70s, 80s. Mainstay in Victorian era. Toys for kids as well, too. Puppets and things along that line. $200 on this one. Now this is meant to set on a table. This is a porcelain one. The matches would go in the vase behind her. Again, this is for a display item. This wouldn't have been carried with you, but technically it still is a match safe. Some people on some of these would get them confused with, say, toothpick holders. This does not appear to be a toothpick holder. This does appear to be something setting on a counter or on display for smoking for matches. So $170 basically on this one here. Now the next one here is a German piano baby style match safe. It's small. This would have no way been a toothpick holder. Matches would of course be my take on this one because it does have a striker section on the back, as you can see. Earlier matches were easier to strike than they are now. They were more dangerous as well too. A match safe was needed to some extent to keep them safe. So that's why this is a match safe, because you can see the serrated striker plate on the back of this one here. $162. Now here's an interesting one again. Another Hallmark sterling piece. Figural are always the best. I don't care what you're looking for. Figural usually go the best on any of these items. Just a nice example here. Let's see if we can find, yeah, there's the marks on it. This is a little newer one also because it has the word sterling. The better ones on this type that would be sterling would be ones that only have touch marks that would date them earlier. $161 on this one here. Now this one's from Harvard. They sold souvenirs everywhere, and match safes again were a common item that you could find. $150 on this one here. More of these were probably made because Harvard's a big school. Many people went there. This design was probably used for a long time. Here's a cast iron one. Some of these are new, so I can't speak on the age. This one does look to be a newer one. Doesn't look to be that old in my personal opinion. Either way, these go for some good money. $195. Now here is a presidential one, Benjamin Harrison, 23rd president. These are extremely popular. There's a bunch of categories for most of these Vesta boxes, match safes, Vesta safes, whatever you wish to call them. It's all the same thing. 128 bucks, 19 bids on this one. Here's a nice one too, 1886 advertising for overalls. This one's really interesting. I have not seen one of these. No idea if it's legit from that age or not. Chances are it is. It's not made of anything precious. It's just an advertising piece for some. Now the bottom here has a crude striker. It's possible this is a reproduction. It looks kind of crude for an original piece in my personal opinion. Most of these were very well detailed. The striker plates had multiple grooves in them. Most of the striker plates are the ones I see had a ton of grooves in them, and it might not have had that line down the bottom. Again, this could be original. I'm not saying it's not. It just looks a little skeptical in my personal opinion. I may be totally wrong. It may be just made out of cheaper metal like pot metal or something along that line. $97, 14 bids on this one. And the next one here is another Figural cello, a violin. Rather nice piece here. In that match safe runner, that's their actual company name on here, their store name. Make offer they've got in the list. It doesn't have a make offer option, but again, who knows? Maybe they put that in every one and they get some good movement on it. Real nice piece either way. Nice match safe. This is more typical of what you'll find on the striker. Very uniform all the way across the bottom. That other one I showed you with the overalls just doesn't kind of seem the same in my opinion. I've seen hundreds of these in my time, and I do mean hundreds, so it just doesn't seem right. Again, it just may be a cheaper production model for promotional, but either way, this one went for $82. Here's another Figural one, and the last one for today. Some of these are Gutta-percha or even leather. I have found pressed leather pieces on these. Now, this one I think is Gutta-percha. Gutta-percha is a vulcanized rubber process. It's been around since 1849. A company by the name of Goodyear, and I don't know if it's the same Goodyear who made rubber tires and things even to this day, but the process was patented in 1849 and then again in 1851. There's a ton of Civil War items that are made of Gutta-percha, including some eagle buttons for sharpshooters, Burdine sharpshooters, which go for a ton of money. So I look for material made out of this stuff all the time. But anyway, this one went for basically $100, a nice example. That's what I have for you today. Well, there you go. There's another item that I do look for. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.